just been allowed by this gentleman to very kindly come down and look at the view from his terrace, but unfortunately there are so many trees here, so I may have to go a bit lower yet. Oh, there's your door, they flew along. Not a bad view, there's just a few too many trees, but still interesting. It's not quite able to see everything. See across now. Let's have a look from here. This is possible là. But not quite what I'm seeking today. So I was very kindly invited to view from the house across there, and there were some good views, but unfortunately the trees were just a bit too much in the way. Today the light's a bit flat, it's coming through the thinner cloud, stratus, whatever it is, and a bit too even. We're not getting the bright lights and darks that I like, but we'll go down here and take a look. From the other way last year and it was a hell of a trek. I'm hoping this way is much shorter and easier to take the stuff. There goes a moth. It's going to land there, and it's ruby tiger. Carry all the stuff down here. As it is, I have a job walking. Without knowing I've got a good spot to go to and how far first. Just around this bend, because I don't want to carry the stuff too far. Got to be nearly there surely. And hopefully once around the next bend, and so we keep going on. I don't know whether I'm going to manage there and back today twice. Weather is out here. Some nice spots to paint just like this, aren't there, on the path. I guess it's about half a kilometre so far, and I think we're just about there. Yes, I remember this from last year, getting this far. Just round the corner, and it opens up here to a view that I think is going to be worth painting. Let's have a good look now and see, but the light isn't very good today. Not easy to make a composition yet. Just wondering if I can take in the whole of this view from there right the way through here on the long canvas. Equally here's not bad either. This view here is quite good. Decision, I must go and get the stuff. And now the sun's come out, it's going to be very hot. So I'll have to bring some water with me as well. It's more to carry. I've got to carry with me all the paints, the easel, chair, canvas. We're going to use a nice long landscape format today, which could be fun for that panorama. Still, it's enough to carry her down that track. Okay, well, I've made it. And I'm going to now try and sit down and relax. The lights come out, so we've got slightly stronger light now on the buildings and the landscape. Let's see if I can find a nice position to do a lovely long landscape scene. On we go now with the drawing, and I'm going to stand and draw because I want a bit more of the foliage going across here, and it's quite hard the drawing because I've got to get everything into this one scene. I want right from that church up there all the way through to the valley beyond, which means I've got to compress it into here on a smaller scale, so I'm going to have to measure out my drawing quite a bit first of all. I don't need a chair for that at the moment, but I will need to use my standard rectangular framing idea and see what comes where. Well, let's see if you can see my drawing going any better from there. So that comes right round now. We've said that that piece of, let's see, that's into quarters almost, so if that bit of ruin is there, I'll compress things slightly down into here and comes all the way down there, and then we've got the river coming down here and around. That gives me quite a nice plane of composition. We've got everything in, so I have to measure them out to get them in there. So let's get the paints ready now, and I'm going to paint as usual the sky first and then work my way down to the bottom. So I'm going to sit down while I'm doing this now. This is the first position I'm going to paint from, lower down, and I'm going to bring it further up and paint over the top. So I'll start up here with the sky. I'm going to start with a flat, I think. I'm going to start with about a ½ inch flat. Start with broken colour up there. There's my setup, my paints, my brushes, everything there ready to go on this scene. It's very hot here, the sun's going to come round smack onto me, I know. I've got my hat on at least. So let's see what we're going to do about these lovely sky cerulean colours. That's what I'm doing. The first thing is to get these lovely hazy blue, pink, lovely sky going on up here. I just want to tickle on these colours. A little bit of water on my brush, mixture of very light turquoise, white at the start, just to establish these colours before I start to put any pink on, because there's a lot of pink in the sky. It's not because I've got pink eye or anything like that, it is there. Of course the weather's so hot and dry that my paints are going to dry very quickly today, you can see that. I've got to reach right out to the far side of the canvas to paint this, so it's quite a physical exercise. And I'm going to make you aware today of how much goes into a painting. Some of you think I just whip them off, but no, there's a lot more to this than meets the eye. It's a struggle for me to even get here, let alone paint it. But you don't make the effort, you get nothing out of life. There we go. Oh, let's carry on up with that colour. I'm already bringing a little tint of purple into it, very, very light purple, just to start showing the warms and cools off, the differences in colour hues. I want the heat of this cruise light. It isn't Mediterranean light, it's not quite as bright as that, and there's a bit more atmosphere today, a bit more dampness in the air, so it's not quite as clear. There's a lot more purple going on over here. It comes down into the sky on that side. It's such a vista that I'm taking on, a large view, but it's going to change across the canvas from left to right, because I'm taking in, well, I'm taking in 3/4 of the view in front of me, and normally we'd only paint a percentage of it. There we go. And there's all these other colours happening here that I've got to try and find now. Those clouds are making these effects down through it. A bit more water to glaze with. Try and get this feeling of this very transparent paint that's coming in here up into the clouds through these effects of wispy cloud coming up through here. Again, it might look simple to you, but I've been doing this for a long time, and I'm using some experience in what to expect to see, but also looking very quickly and making very fast decisions about what I'm painting. I'm going to bring in a little wisps of lighter coloured cloud soon as well across there. At the moment I just want to glaze and get these effects of light and dark, warms and cools, blues coming up into there as well. All of that cerulean and very light turquoise to come in here. Heavier paint now as I start to mix stronger colours to get these effects. Lovely turquoise coming into that blue over there. You see these colours and pull them out. Bit of ivory. Yellow, ochre and white will do. That comes all through here. Up into the sky. Difficult to see that bit there because I've got a shadow on it. doing that colour. I'll come back here and add it into the sky here as well, and it's up there too. When you've got a colour on your brush, try and use it wherever it is, wherever you see it. With the sky, I'm working mainly on just the sky at the moment, but when I get the whole painting going, then I will start to work all over it more evenly. There we are, that's just about got the sky done as I want to do it. Don't need to go much stronger than that. It gets bluer higher up, of course it does, but that's down in the horizon. Now we've got to start with the background colours, and I need to get these lovely pale mauvey blue, mauvey green background colours on there. I prefer to do the darker colours first. So let's look over here at these rocks first of all. Yeah, they're going to be quite... I can get down to around there like that, that's it. And the church is up here. I've lost him a bit. He should have been here somewhere. Mustn't lose my drawing at the moment because he should be just here, I think. Yeah. I have to reach out a bit there to do some fine work, and that's not easy. Down into those deep shadows there, right down through here. Might have to use a bigger brush, I think, to really hammer on some colour here. I'll go back with the small one in just a moment. So I'm going to take a nice big 3/4 fill, but wash this brush out and go to a bigger brush to really block in some of these lovely background colours. So I can put lights over them. To start with the mid-tones and background and then work into the darks and then come back up to my highlights as usual. I'll come right back up here with this horizon line first. I just want to get canvas covered. There's so much to do that I haven't got time to hang about and wait on it to get the canvas covered and see what I'm doing quick. So I've got a lot working against me. I've got blazing heat down on me and on my legs, actually almost burning my legs now because it's smack on me now. You can see by the brightness of the canvas how bright it is. I've got to get these colours on and established as quickly as I can. I'll cut into that in a minute with the lighter paint, but let's just get these colours established. Very blue in the background. These darks even are quite cool into their trees. One thing over another, and then we'll get the light over the dark in a minute. Let's just get these established. Put some more Prussian blue out, I think, but let's go with this for a minute. Get it covered. I've got to keep it cool at the moment because I'm right back in the distance here. So I want to get my darks and lights, warms and cools established there, so I can paint my lighter colours over the top and let them just glue down through in the approximate tones and colours. And I can gradually go tighter and tighter. At the moment I'm painting very loosely. Start loose and finish tight. Try and see pure colour. Try not to see muddy colours. Try and find these beautiful reflected lights and shadows going on in here. Light strong against it, we get the atmosphere coming up and through. Big brush, big strokes, be bold, find the colours, slap them in, try and just establish where everything is at the moment. see I'm just starting to work up these shadows, how the lights come on top of this afterwards. So, make sure we've got our castle still. We've got the church, buildings here, up to there, up to these buildings here and here, across to here, up to these bits of tree here, the building there, up to those trees there, dark down there, then the building here and there. So I need to come right down now, pretty dark, down here to establish these trees that are coming down here. Mixing the colours on the canvas as well for speed. Something going on over in Crozant today, because you can hear all the noise from here, which is usually quite quiet. Right, so we've about established our mid-tones for the background there. Come across this will make it less sharp. And we're almost ready now to come back in with the other brush, but look at this lovely green down at the bottom here. There's a beautiful, rich green happening in the water down here. I want to just put that coat in first, just to establish it before I go in too heavy-handed. The water's got this algae in again, I'm afraid. It's not good for the swimmers and anybody else in the area, but it's quite interesting for me painting it. And all of this is going to be quite green down here. Like I say, I just want to lose the white at the moment and get some base coats in. I think, what's he doing? Such a mess. But as I say, hopefully we'll see. It'll make sense as I go on. I'm bringing the warms out in the foreground a bit more now. Just starting my foreground colours here. My bottle of water just expanding there in the sun. Must be starting to boil, I am. Right, I've got to go back up now to the areas above. There's lights in going down amongst the bushes there. So I'm going to go back down to my slightly smaller brush, the 1/2 inch. I want to start establishing these beautiful colours in the background. Let's have a look at where the castles and things are. First of all, come back to these buildings. Under the tree here, it's lighter, the light shining through there. Should be able to paint a lot more with highlights now, which would be fun. Now you'll see why I did as I did. That's brought back, that's delineated the where the castles are a bit now. Fortifications. So a bit more deeper yellow into that, more orange going on in there. And start to really play with the sunlight here. Colours that are going on across there. All the way down here, right down to the water's edge. May have made the scale of those a bit too large. right up to the castle edge here. Make some adjustments and gradually change it here now. Find those pure colours and the cools and warms where they are. And the roofs up here. I'll have to stand eventually, but I'm trying to last as long as I can. I'll get another drink soon. I'm getting really thirsty. Those cools are coming down here in the shadows as well. Behind there, distance. Put the paint in one place, move it to another. There's a nice scent coming from a flower somewhere nearby, thank heavens. Do the same over here, very lightly. Just bringing glazes across distant trees here where it's still cool. God, that's actually burning my leg because my jeans are a warmer colour. And it's actually burning my leg through jeans. It's getting so hot. Just feeling the tops of the trees behind these bushes. Thinner paint, as I say, just a watery based paint to be able to just pick out these colours down here. The sunlight coming across them. An awkward angle to paint at. You have to look at the subtleties between these beautiful differences in colour hues going back right through to here. And then not close up, it's even warmer still. It's more like a World War II fighter plane than a car, that. To start bringing out these bits of castle moat. Just heard my water bottle go pop then. God, my leg's burning. Chilly starting to burn. Build and build up these warm and cool colours, finding these lovely things behind here. Just starting to make a bit more sense now as I get these other colours in behind here. Okay, I'm going to have to stand up I think and work into this too. Just a bit more of that background sky. I need that pink and just catching the light along this roof a bit. It needs to be a lot lighter. And it needs to be a different angle. I've got to go darker underneath that in a minute. Right, I'm going to have to stand up in a minute and start to work on this foreground a bit to make it work. Right, move my chair back a bit and turn the paints over. Let's see what we can do with the foreground a bit more now. And I have to rearrange my paints I think in a minute. Let's have a look now. We've got that beautiful pea green down there, which I've got in the water already. And I've got to bring some much deeper, darker greens. I'm not far off on that. Through here. And right across here with the tower, we've got that tree coming round there, shadowed here, down there, and a very nice tree coming up into here. Yellow ochre's coming up, which will push that lot back. Right, what have we got over here? That's lighter green. Got that parcel there, we've got these leaves here, yeah, we've got to bring in these leaves onto that. Fantastic, let's see if I can just bring those forward. So coming down from the church here, we've got these beautiful bright leaves that are against the light. Now I can start painting with light a bit. And I've got to this stage, put the lights against the darks and really start to bring these out. These lovely orange colours come down and over this dark and the light shining across. Look at this lighter green now. Much deeper, darker purples down the bottom. Coming down from here into here, we've got really dark, deep, almost into black in places. To get that on my brush now, and that's a useless bit of black perhaps to just mark out, delineate some of these scrubby bits of branch here that are coming up and through. Dark against that to make that even lighter. Push that background back in there a bit. Right, let's have a look now at the lighter colours up there. Tips of the grass are shining a beautiful yellow-orange. So we'll take the chrome yellow and a bit of orange and we'll just see if we can find the tips of these grasses here. Maybe that's a bit too light, we'll see. Let's find a little red and magenta. Warmer red magenta slightly, that's better. Let's feel those brush is not giving me the fine strokes that I want. You think that the galleries are taking 50%, many of them. Don't forget I'm only getting 50 and I've got to take all my expenses off. Those costs. Right, let's go back down to that lovely blue turquoise on some of those leaves down here. Well, I hope I'm capturing it. Shut up. So it's hard to know whether you succeeded or not until you've got this far in the painting and you just begin to see what you can do, and what mistakes you've made, whether you've got too much foreground or not enough, or am I getting there is the question. Hopefully the answer is yes, but nothing is certain. Just starting to find these last colours which are so necessary. There's a big difference between the water and the which I haven't quite really got. I think I've about had enough, and my water was boiling hot, so not much solace. I think I'm going to do a lot more because I'm just getting too hot myself. I'll try warm the oranges a bit more on the orange greens. Probably one of the most difficult ones I've had to do, not just because of how much there is, but the conditions I'm painting in, which are just so extremely hot. In some cases pure, in some cases not. It will bring that foreground forward, maybe too much. We will see. Do it and then balance out again. But I'll have a look when we get back. At the moment I've just got to hope. Nothing more I can do. Let's see if we can find that green which I need for the water. I don't think I can, but we'll have a look. It's quite a strong green just down there. Right up and through the water here. If we do that greener, then of course we've got to start finding more of the greens up in here, but they're a nuisance. I think I've got about as far as I can get with that painting today, you know. Absolutely burnt to a cinder, and I need to have a break. Yeah, I think that'll do. It's loose enough, and I think it has what I wanted to capture. So I'll just put a signature on that, and then I'm going to start in there. I'm tempted to get home, it's just so hot. And there's our view. There we go, sweltering hot day. Done my best conditions. Let's take it home and varnish it and have a look at it. Well, talk about suffering for one's art. I only just got back in one piece after that. I've actually got red mark and blotches on my leg from where the sun was burning on my jeans. And of course, having managed the 2 walks to get there and back to check it and then take my stuff, was pushing me for walking anyway. And when I came back, luckily I had some water, but even the water in the bottle in the shade had got almost like hot water. And luckily I had some water back in the car, so I managed to just get back, but I really struggled, I must admit this time. Bit of heat stroke, so I had to be careful. Back in France again, it was just so hot today. I managed this painting anyway, so there we go. More pleased that I've got it back, but it's got me going again, so at least I can start painting again over here. Maybe do a few more yet, if I see some scenes that inspire me. It's very loose, as you see. We start very loose, build it up, and then get tighter and tighter and tighter until I feel happy with it and I can stop at that stage. Sometimes I go back on them, but very seldom, especially if they're plein air like this, because I tend to try and capture that moment. Certainly one I shan't forget. I just came back, plunged into the hot tub, then went into a cool shower, had lots to drink, and spent the last couple of hours flat out on the bed with the fan on me. So it certainly hit me quite hard, this one. There we go. So when you, as I was saying earlier, to those of you buyers who in singular art and want to knock the price down, just think before you do that, please, for how much work we put into it.